Horse shit. Let me know when we're good. All right, well, welcome to the Championship 4 edition of the C&J Speedway Review live here in the Azar Mini Mansion right here in Montville, Connecticut. My name is Chris Burns. To my immediate right is Corey Huffnagel. Corey, are you ready for this?
I remember this.
Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
4 men enter this Championship 4. 1 man will leave with the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Let's get to the Championship 4. I'm going to let Corey tell you all about it. I have to exit the room for just a moment. But, Corey, walk through the Championship 4, their stats, their standings, and who they are for the general public.
All right, guys, so today is the Championship 4 for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Today for the Ford EcoBoost 400 this afternoon at Homestead Miami Speedway. So remember, guys, the 4 guys that are battling for the championship are Kevin Harvick, who was won the race this season, won 3 races this season. Alongside him would be the Gibbs 3 with Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin. And, folks, I got to tell you what, this is going to be exciting today. I cannot wait. And as you guys can tell, I have my Martin Truex Jr. stuff on, as well as Chelsea has his Truex stuff on. So it's going to be an exciting race. And the unfortunate part is this will be the last time that we are going to have the championship race here at Homestead Miami Speedway, because next year the championship race will be at ISM Raceway in Phoenix. So it's going to be interesting how this race is going to play out today, and not only that, next year as well. So I'm really excited for this race this afternoon, and I'm hoping Truex can win a championship for Gibbs.
On the other side, I'm the Harvick guy. I'm the man against the world. We have 3 Joe Gibbs drivers going for this championship, and the lone non-Gibbs driver is Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
To me, it's everything Kevin Harvick wants and likes in a NASCAR race. He wants to be the underdog. He wants to be that closer. He wants to be Mr. Where Did He Come From?
Right.
Again, the homer in me says Kevin Harvick walks away with this championship. To me, it's all about whoever has the perseverance, the determination, the right pit stops, the right pit strategy, the right track position. Whoever wins out of these 4, for the first time in a long time, I'm going to say whoever wins deserves it.
I do agree. And I think it's going to come down to pitch strategy as well, but mostly track position because we saw that in the truck race and the Xfinity race this past weekend. I think track position is going to be key. And mostly, I think, whenever you're out in front, there's just no way that, the second place guy is going to catch up. So I think it's going to be interesting, but you are going to see some interesting strategies today. But then when it comes down to 50 laps to go, and if I'm that crew chief, I'm going to tell my guy, listen, do we want to come down and take tires? Do we want to stay out and get track position? I think it's going to be interesting. I can't wait.
Well, we're going to bring our first guest of the day in. He has been the interim co-host of the Loki and Jabroni Show
What
before.
up?
He's been a multiple guest. It's Chris Lynch, Strikers McLynch himself.
Everybody.
What's up?
And
Long time, no time.
After we ask for his opinion, we have a special presentation for Lynch for being such a great interim co-host for Loki. But Lynch, you got 4 drivers. You got Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch. It all comes down to today. Who's your pick?
Truex.
Martin Truex. Okay.
Yeah.
Truex.
Nothing wrong with that.
Strategy-wise, I think he and his crew will have the best strategy planned out for him, depending on his track position halfway through the race.
Yep.
Again, like I heard what you were saying about pit stops and timing and all that good stuff. If he gets the right rhythm, and stays in the front half of the pack, I think he should be successful today.
Yeah.
Bush, well, fuck up.
All right, watch this. I've already prepped everybody. What happens when I say the name Kyle Busch?
We love him.
FKB.
Oh, there you go. You got it right there.
Hashtag FKB. If Mark does that again, we're not going to have our special Mark moment at the end of the race. However,
No, but
right now, well, go ahead. I'm sorry, Lynch.
I think it's going to be an interesting day today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there who say Denny Hamlin is the underdog, but he comes into this race with 6 wins.
Yeah.
You can't say you're an underdog with 6 wins on the circuit. I give Denny Hamlin a real fighter's chance going forward to win this championship. As much as I'm going to be a homer for Kevin Harvick, I have to say that right now you have to look at Denny Hamlin, momentum, as the favorite going into this race.
Well, coming in off the 6 wins is key for him. Again, he's another one. Hopefully he gets the right timing on his pit stops, fuel, tires, whatever, and he stays number 1 accident proof.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
With the exception of Texas, Denny Hamlin has been very accident-proof throughout this entire season, but Texas really killed his momentum.
Right.
Don't let today be the day
Exactly.
that really kind of kills him.
But, if you look back at Texas, the next week he comes back at Phoenix and wins the entire thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I need Chelsea to do, if you could grab that box right there, Corey has a special presentation right now, and I'm going to do this. And Corey, if you'll explain what's going on here.
Okay, so this is a gift for Mr. Lynch himself. So it is a die-cast car of Mark Martin's 2005 paint scheme from when he drove in the ASA days back in, I want to say it was back in the 80s. So not only it's a die-cast car, Mark Martin's car, but it's also a die-cast car that is autographed by Mark Martin.
And like I told you on the night of that show, this means a lot to me because he was one of my favorite drivers.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Probably, I would say, the best driver in NASCAR that's never won a championship.
Exactly.
And I loved watching him drive truck.
Well, him and Lake Speed.
Yeah.
But when you talk about Mark Martin, you talk about Mark Martin, who is already in the Hall of Fame, that's had, really good numbers. And trust me, he was one of those guys that, that kind of laid back, early in the race. And then, when it came, to, the later laps in the race, you knew, he was up at the front and he was going to be the one to beat.
Of course.
You saw the opportunities and took them when he could.
Exactly.
Anytime you saw Mark Martin at the front, you knew there was going to be a challenge. Mark Martin won a butt ton of races. If you could look that up, Statboy Deluxe. And I know he's in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Agree.
There's so much about Mark Martin that people should love. But here you go. He's a multiple race winner, just never, unfortunately, transitioned that. He came close so many times. But Mark Martin's one of those guys you just cannot hate. He's just that guy.
Well, he was in his personal life, he was just a really good dude.
Yes.
You never heard any controversy about him, no bullshit, no scandal.
Mm-hmm.
And just a real quick aside, Falcons 20, Panthers 0. It's a really good weekend.
So far.
Ohio State won yesterday. Falcons are winning now.
So far.
My opinion, Kevin Harvick takes home this championship. We will see at the end of the Ford EcoBoost 400 here on Championship 4 weekend. How many wins does Mark Martin have?
So with all the stats in all 3 series, I'm going to read this off. So In Cup, he has 40 career wins, 271 top fives, 453 top tens. Xfinity, he has 49 career wins, 112 top fives, 152 top tens. And then Truck Series, 7 wins, 16 top fives, and 20 top tens.
And at one point was the winningest driver on the Xfinity Series.
Yep.
He beat Sam Ard for that title, I believe. And
Oh, yeah.
then Kyle Busch came and ruined that for everybody.
Right.
And when I say Kyle Busch, what do we say?
FKB.
FKB.
There you go.
Our producer's about to get fired. We don't know. Hold on. Wait. And that's the only cussing that will be allowed
Right.
on this show today. But you like Martin Truex. We're going to bring in another guest in a minute. The phone lines are open. If you want to call, here are the rules. If you are the call, that's great. If you want to call, wait for the last call to be finished before you call in.
Yes.
There is one solitary phone line. It is open. 860-576-0313 is the number. You can call in now. I feel like I'm back at the radio station. I can't say their
Yeah.
name. I feel like I'm back. And if you want to hear the new Prince single, call now. 860-445-1055. You remember the
Yeah,
number.
there you go.
1055.
Right?
Spinning the ooey gooeys and a new chewies.
We've got your Mariah Carey tickets right here. Just call 860-445-1055 with the phrase that pays, if you remember correctly.
Right.
You may win a window tint job from Boomer
Oh,
McLeod.
Boomer McLeod. Wow. We're going back. That's 25 years ago,
Right.
and I still don't remember the
I
name
actually
of some-
won a tint job on
Did
my
you
old
really?
truck from Boomer McLeod.
I gave away so much stuff
And it
from
was
Great Scott.
It was the crappiest tint job I've ever seen.
Was
in
it
my
really?
life.
Oh.
Yeah.
My friend Mike could have done it better.
I could have done it better
All right,
blindfolded.
So the phone line is open. I am the king of the phone line. If you want to call in now. Give us your championship prediction.
We love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And for the next couple minutes, we'll have Lynch. We have 1, 2, 3 more people, possibly 4 if Skip behaves himself. We'll have 4 more people come in and give you their NASCAR thoughts. But right now, guys, I have to ask you, and Lynch, you may be out of the loop just a little bit. The two races, the 2 championship races that happened Friday night and Saturday, excitement personified.
Unfortunately, I have not had an opportunity, based on like I discussed with you on the phone yesterday, with shit going on, stuff going on in my life.
Understood. Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
See, he did it. Blame Lynch.
It's all my fault.
We're YouTube Jones. This isn't going on
I know.
Apple, so we can
Right.
say that.
But no, I am way out of the loop of what happened over the last
Oh.
2 races.
Let us give you the update. Friday night was the Gander Outdoor Series Truck Championship, and Matt Crafton, he have no wins, but he, a 2-time former champion, comes away with the victory.
Right.
Really good pitch strategy for that 88 team. Thor Sport comes in, and Matt Crafton drives that truck right behind eventual race winner Austin Hill, which leads me to a question later about the champion winning the race, because we've seen it since 2014 on the Monster Energy Cup Series that the eventual champion wins the race. We see it on the Truck Series Friday night. The champion came in second behind a non-contender.
Yeah.
Can we see that today on the Monster Energy Cup Series? And then I'll ask you, Corey, about Matt Crafton.
Okay. I'm going to say no.
You think the eventual champion's going to win the Ford EcoBoost 400 today?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, talk about Matt Crafton. He's a guy that's been hovering every week, seems to be top 5, top 10. He collected quite a many of each. Gets into the championship 4 by points and walks away with the championship Friday night. In your opinion, very deserving or kind of lucked into it?
I'd probably say, kind of luck into it, because if you were on Friday night, and not only that, you watch this season in the Truck Series, Matt Crafton made it in the playoffs consistently. The first round, he wasn't really too bad, and then the whole engine issue, he pretty much lucked his way into the second round, after Grant Infinger and Johnny Sauter, those guys already lucked out. But in this race on Friday night, I'd probably say the only truck that was tough to beat was Austin Hill, and his truck was like literally riding on a rail, like when it came to like restarts, and then the long runs, that was the only tough part, that was really much to beat. But if you look at Matt Crafton's results this year, yes, he's pretty much the second driver that's won a championship that hasn't won a race during the regular season. Of course, you got to go back to 2013 when Austin Dillon won the Xfinity Championship and he didn't win a race all year. So, to me, it wasn't really like that surprising, because I watched all the other 3 contenders, Ross Chastain and Brett Moffitt, those guys were kind of in the mix, most of the night, but they kind of fell back just a little bit. And then Stuart Friesen, he was out of the loop most of the race. But I thought the race was good. It sucked that Austin Hill, should have made it in the championship 4. He only missed it by like 7 points.
But bad luck.
Yeah.
We've talked about this about Kyle Larson. We've talked about this on certain guys on the Xfinity Series. Bad luck can take you out and will take you out.
Right.
And Austin Hill, in my opinion, like you said, should have been in the championship picture, but luck of the draw. Matt Crafton, in my opinion, did not luck into this championship. I think he drove his way. Consistency. Terry Labonte, Matt Kenseth, guys like that who won with 1 or 2 wins on the season. Here comes Crafton this year with 0 wins and wins the championship on 0 wins, but he was consistent. And that's what NASCAR fans have been screaming about for a year, 2 years, whatever. Well, it's not like the old days where consistency wins. Well, this time consistency won. I'm waiting to hear the backlash of people saying, well, he didn't win. This guy won X amount of races. This guy won X amount of races. Where's the backlash? When will the backlash start?
And think about this: if Crafton wins the championship next year, he
is the number. 860-576-0313. You want to weigh in on the Championship 4 on the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series? You certainly can. We're going to move forward to Saturday with the Xfinity Series, and Tyler Reddick brings home the win and the championship. We thought, between you and I, Corey, it was going to be either Christopher Bell or Cole Custer. What happens is Bell drops back. Custer and Reddick are battling toward the title. Justin Allgaier had a really great shot going forward, but Justin Allgaier blows a tire. He gets dropped back in the field, and it comes down to Reddick and Custer going into the last 5 laps, and Reddick just ran away with it. First repeat champion in I don't know how many years on the Xfinity Series.
Well, the last time a driver has won back-to-back in the Xfinity Championships was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 2011 and 2012. But if you also think about this, it's actually the first time that Tyler Reddick's won back-to-back championships in this playoff format because, let's face it, nobody hasn't won back-to-back championships in this playoff format until Reddick did it. But just look at this season. This Xfinity Series dominated mostly by the big 3, Custer, Reddick, and Custer, Reddick, and Christopher Bell. I mean,
Correct.
Those guys, if you add up how many wins those guys have total, they have like about 22 wins apart. And then you have Justin Allgaier, who made it in by winning at Phoenix. And I thought, he was going to be a contender at the end until he had a cut tire like near the end of the race, which that took him out of contention. But I just look at all 3 of those guys, and the fact 3 of them are going to the Cup Series next year. Custer, Reddick, and Christopher Bell. I think it's going to be interesting to see how those guys transition to the Cup Series next year, but then not to mention, which one of those guys can get their first win. But I thought the race on Saturday, yes, it was going to come down to the big 3, and of course Tyler Reddick pretty much, which, again, talk about, ending Richard Childress Racing's 50th anniversary with a championship. I thought that was impressive, and it's going to be interesting to see how Reddick does in the Cup Series driving in the 8 car next year. But, yet again, hats off to Tyler Reddick. I mean, he had a really good season. I wouldn't say maybe consistent season because, he was kind of close.
Reddick was up and down.
Well, yeah. He was right between, Custer and Bell, with those guys. But
sure.
Other than that, I thought it was a great season. It was very exciting, and I can't wait to see how the Xfinity Series does in 2020.
Well, and I think when we broke it down this past Thursday night, it was 8 wins for Bell, 7 wins for Custer, 4 wins for Reddick.
Yeah.
So, obviously, the big 3, and then Allgaier wins and brings his way into the championship. What you have now is Reddick saying, I'm the champ. I've still got this trophy in my grasp, and goes out and shows the people this is why I won last year, and now I'm 2-time champ.
Right.
I deserve to be here.
Right, exactly. And if you look at last year, nobody didn't pick him to win the championship. Comparing to this year, everyone's all saying, okay, Reddick, pretty much has a shot, but it's going to be tough beating Custer and Bell, which that's the tough part. But then yet again, Reddick just pretty much beat the odds, and I will say this, hats off to him, and it's going to be interesting how he does in Cup next year.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And now we're leading into Homestead Miami Speedway today. Green is set to go off at about 3:18 p.m. We're going to stay with you maybe a little longer than we had originally planned because we went off late. But Chris, before you go and before we bring in guest number 2 and number 3 and potentially, if he behaves himself, number 4, if one of the championship
If Johnson
4
does win a race.
doesn't win, who's going to be the highest finisher? I know you picked Truex for the championship, which would mean him, but if one of the championship 4 doesn't win, who wins the race?
That's a really tough call for me as an outsider looking in.
I heard you, Mark. You're next. You're next.
I
You
didn't
just
hear him,
stay-
so. So, given my options on the top contenders outside of Truex, who's leading the top 5 going into this race?
Interesting question. Corey is the stat man. If it were up to me, I'd say consistency in the playoffs
Yes.
has to go to Kevin Harvick and Martin Truex combined.
So
They've always been at the top. Kyle Busch has been up and down all around, but points brings him in.
right, and that's been his career, his whole career.
So right
With
now,
the exception
Logano
of
is in 5th.
2015, yes.
So Logano's in 5th.
Yep.
Yes. So who tips the apple cart?
It could be Logano.
Okay.
It really could because, again, not the guy that you would consistently think would be at the head of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
But again, back to like how Mark Martin used to drive, laid back, stays in the middle of the pack
Until
sees
it's
his,
time to turn
sees
it
his
on.
opportunity, sees his opportunity
Yeah.
at the right time halfway through the race, mid laps, and makes his move.
Okay.
They'd say slow and steady wins the race,
Yes.
and sometimes that is absolutely true.
Okay.
Logano's that type of driver. I know
Certainly.
that, I know that much about racing to know that that's his style.
And for those of you who are uninitiated, Chris Lynch listens to our show. And
Yep.
in his own words, some weeks ago when we were doing the Loki and Jabroni show, when you were filling in for Loki, he listens to the show. He's learning more and more about the modern era of racing now versus when he fell out. So
I'm an old man, so
So am
old.
I.
Well, but you know when I stopped watching racing,
but now
it was back in the late 90s. So
Right.
there's a whole generation of drivers that are coming up that
Yeah.
I don't know.
certainly.
I haven't watched live. I haven't watched the races live.
But this is now an impetus for you and I maybe to get
Correct.
together and watch a race, and you can see and learn and be more apart.
And then what helps is after I listen to your shows, I go back and look at the playbacks of the race.
Yeah.
And so that's where I get my info. Looking at playbacks of certain key moments in races, key crashes, bad pit stops, stuff like that.
Certainly.
Because if you're 2 seconds over on a pit stop, it could ruin you for the rest of the race.
It's a matter of winning or one and done, let's say.
A matter of winning or coming in last or middle of the pack.
Correct.
And when you've been consistently in at least the top 5 to 10.
All right. I'm going to give you this again, and I'm going to thank you for joining, and we're going to bring in special guest number 2. I'm going to have to ask you, unfortunately, now.
I'm going to walk away from the table.
For now.
Thank you for letting me come in. I'm going
Thank
to take my
you
headphones off.
for being here.
They're a little sweaty,
We'll
so.
we'll have more of a conversation, but for right now, I want to bring in the host of this
Yeah.
entire thing, the man behind the man cave. He's going to sit down. He's going to put on the cans. We're going to have a little talk. He is the great Baldini himself. He is putting down the Miller Lite number 2 of Brad Keselowski.
Brad.
His name is Mark Azarchu. Mark, thank you, first of all, for the second year of us doing this.
Oh, no problem. Always enjoy you guys being here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Much
And
appreciated.
It's always fun.
Plus, I love watching Skip being quiet. It's awesome.
So far, so good.
He's
And
holding it in really bad
I'm
right
trying to-
now. He's like ready to burst.
I'm kind of wanting to bring him in at some point. He's guest number 4, in my opinion. But right now, let's give a little shout out. Championship 4. We got Truex, Harvick, Busch, Hamlin. Your opinion? Who's walking away with this title today?
I would love to see Kevin Harvick.
Awesome.
Because,
Okay.
FKB.
FKB.
Yep.
See, he listens.
FKB.
He
So let's do
knows.
Harvick and maybe then Truex.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at.
And I think that's the running consensus between everybody on this show is
Oh, exactly.
Harvick or Truex. Nobody would mind Denny Hamlin. He's he's a scrapper. He's one of those guys that deserves it. But again, at the end of the day, hashtag FKB.
FKB, yep.
Yep.
We have the gimmick. Is that here? Oh, wait.
Yeah,
we
it's
got
in there.
Got a brand new big gimmick that says hashtag FKB. Throughout the season, we watched Brad Keselowski, and I want to kind of throw the spotlight over to Brad Keselowski. won a bunch of races,
3
looked
races this
really
year, yeah.
good up until the first round of the playoffs. He had a lot of bad luck.
Yeah.
2020, do you think he's going to bounce back? Will he be in the championship 4 come Phoenix time, which the championship race switches to ISM Raceway in Phoenix next November?
Yep.
Is Brad going to be in the mix?
I sure hope so.
Okay.
I mean, he's a good racer, and yeah, he just had some really bad things happen to him the last part of these playoffs.
Yeah.
Mostly he crashes due to not being his fault.
Yeah.
And, that's the way NASCAR happens, you know.
Unfortunately, it is. And
Yeah, it's unpredictable.
one of the things I have to say is whenever I watch a race here, it either is Kevin Harvick wins or Brad Keselowski wins, and last week it was Denny Hamlin. So one of those 3 is not in the playoffs. Unfortunately, that's Brad Keselowski.
Right.
The other 2 are Hamlin and Harvick, so Mark might be the secret weapon to end the Kyle Busch regime. And when I say Kyle Busch, what do we say?
FKB.
FKB.
You should start a
Exactly.
national movement. What do you
I'm
think?
trying. I'm trying on Twitter. I'm trying on Instagram. Hashtag FKB. We're working on it. We're
Yeah.
working on
I
it.
want to do another one with that, but I don't want to talk about that because it's politics. So.
Fair enough.
Right,
I
yep.
There's
understand.
another thing I want to hashtag off, but no.
We're not going to do that on the show.
No,
We're
not
not
this one.
going
We're
to
not
do that
going
on
to
the
do that
show.
here, no.
But first of all, thank you. And there's going to be, so you know, when we go after the race, there's going to be a special presentation in your honor on the post-race show. So don't get too inebriated.
Me?
Want you to be
Oh,
lucid.
never.
Yeah.
I know. I've been here before. I want
Well,
you to be lucid.
Well, I have to. My football game doesn't come on until 8:20.
Exactly.
Right.
So there's no
Yeah.
reason for you to get loopy until 8:20 when the Bears take the field against the Rams tonight.
Yep. Then I'll need a lot of
Bears.
shots 'cause they'll probably lose anyway. So.
All right, Bears Rams. We're gonna go a little football Jones here. Bears Rams. Who do you got? Obviously,
Well,
Bears.
the Bears. Hopefully,
well, that's who you want to win. Who do
Yeah.
you think will win?
the Rams.
All right, fair enough. I missed my shot to pick the pick 6 this week on Win Terry Bradshaw's money. I'll have to try again next week. But Mark, we'll be talking to you again when the champion holds his trophy above his
Yep.
head, as long as it's not Kyle Busch.
Hopefully.
And
As
when
long as
I-
it's not him,
and
no.
when I say Kyle Busch,
FKB.
thank you,
Yep.
Corey, for sticking up and doing the right thing.
Yep.
Chelsea fell off. She's playing on her phone. It's all good. I got you. I got you. No worries, kid. Thank you once again. I
Dennis
know
Leary.
I'm here. What if the week is? If there's 52 weeks a year, I'm here probably 25 weeks watching sports with
At
you.
least, yeah. You're here. all
Always
the
a great
Yeah.
time, and I know Corey and Chelsea love it, and everybody here
Yeah.
loves it.
Good.
Lynch
Great
is
seeing you
first
guys
time
again.
Jones.
Thank you for coming again. So,
All right,
Much
so,
appreciated. Thank
guys,
you.
so the phone line is open if you want to call. We have 40 minutes till green. It's
Want to hear from you.
860-576-0313. Once again, that's 860-576-0313. If you want to call in. If you don't, you just want to hear what we have to say, fine and dandy. Now, by special request, and something tells me I'm going to regret this to the day I die, he's going to put the cans on. This is one of our longest and most ardent supporters on the C&J Speedway
Yeah,
Review.
buddy.
All you got to do is talk straight into the microphone, brother.
Just talk
This
straight
is
in the
Mr.
microphone. Don't be shy.
Zach Kuhn, and we have often said hello, Zach's dad, but today we have Zach here with us. Zach, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
Good. Zach, strangely enough, goes to the same college that I went to before I quit and said, F this game. But Zach is going to finish. So, Mitchell College, hey,
Yep.
big ups to you, brother.
Yep.
So, we got the championship for Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch. Who are you picking and why?
Kevin Harvick because hope he wins. I'm picking Kevin Harvick because he's Chris's.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're picking him because he's my driver?
No, he's my driver too.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. You watch all season. If there's one guy you think should have been in the championship for, who is it and why?
It's Joey Logano.
Joey Logano?
Yeah.
Okay.
And not to mention also Zach's also favorite driver is also Justin Allgaier as well, who
Oh, yeah, good
which of
call.
course
Yep.
which of course he competed in the championship for, but didn't really do that great in the race last night. So Zach, I'm going to read you the results of Allgaier's finishes this year. So he has 1 win, 16 top 5s, 24 top 10s, and an average finish of 9.0. So
Not bad
also
at all.
we also want to ask, like, we want to ask you this question to the audience. So what made you, pick Justin Allgaier as your favorite driver?
Because I went up with Corey this summer, and yeah.
All right, and also two-part question. Do you think Justin Allgaier has a chance to win the Xfinity Championship in 2020?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because he's the best of the best.
Okay. Now I'm kind of saying that myself too. I think since the big three, they're all moving on the Cup next year. I think this is probably Justin Allgaier's best chance to win the championship next year than what it was this year. So, and not to mention, Junior Motorsports, has a really good shot at winning the championship every year. Of course, they didn't win it this year, but I think they got a good shot again next year. Now that the big three are all moving on the Cup. So, anything else you want to add,
Good
Zach?
point.
And the Falcons a good game. The Falcons a good game today.
Oh, it's
And?
a real good game so far. Hey, look, I got my Julio Jones gimmick right here. I had to take it off for the NASCAR deal, but always tattooed to my leg, for crying out loud. I always represent the ATL no matter where I go.
And Zach, who's
Thank
playing
you.
at 425?
The Patriots.
All
Who,
right,
who
go
you guys
Pats.
playing today?
The Eagles.
You're
In the
playing
city
the Eagles?
of brotherly love.
Remember this. The Falcons beat the Eagles this season, so you guys should have a really easy road going forward today, beating the Eagles.
I think we got a good chance, and also I want to give a shout out to my cousin Johnny and Jamie and my uncle John. They're all down there in Pennsylvania, which they're all Philly fans and whatnot. And I also forgot to mention this on the show on Wednesday night. So my grandfather on my dad's side, Jack, even though he lives down in Philadelphia, picture this, guys. He lives in Philadelphia, but he's a Patriots fan. He
That's
loves
a little weird.
the Patriots. I mean, it's a little weird, but at the same time, he loves talking about the Patriots. He loves Brady and Edelman and those guys. So, but yeah, so that's the only thing I'm kind of surprised at. But at the same time, it makes me feel good, though.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Zach, thank you so much. We'll be looking forward to talking during
Thank
the
you
race.
for coming, Zach.
And now, we're just going to have to bring in one of my favorite human beings.
Oh, this is
on
going to be
Earth.
fun.
She is the Tower of Power. She's too sweet to be sour. She is funky like a monkey. She's got dimples for days.
Yeah.
And all we're going to do, we don't even have to have her move. We're just going to turn the microphone this way. She's going to throw the cans on. She is a pro at talking into the microphone. It's Chelsea Gabrielle Tzatziki Sauce in all of her Martin Truex glory. Chelsea, how are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Great
good.
to see you again.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
Once a year. If I only see you once a year, it's good enough for me.
Oh, yes.
Unlike him, if I only see him once a year, it's one time too many.
Right.
I see him every week on the video screen,
Oh, yeah.
and he changes his look. Either it's bearded and full hair or shaved, going to the electric chair gimmick Jones,
Yep.
but he's there.
I know he's the man of mystery.
And she knows,
Really
I
is.
do good every night. So, which is
Oh,
why
my
they call
Lord.
me the stat guy.
And this is when I hit this button. Bringing you gimmicks from the
Yeah.
Loki and Jabroni show.
That's
just,
awesome.
Which is why
I'm glad
which is
you like
sometimes
that.
my nickname could be Nostradamus, but whatever.
Nostradamus. I forgot that gimmick too. There's one on here for Mike, but I don't know which one it is. And Eddie had to leave for a little bit, but Chelsea's running the board.
Eddie.
Okay, Chelsea, we've already mentioned that you're wearing all the Martin Truex gear, so we basically know you're pulling for Martin Truex Jr. in the championship four to walk away with the trophy. If you had to pick, if for some reason Martin Truex Jr. breaks something, gets in a crash, yada yada, sis boom ba, who are you picking for the championship if your guy does not finish top?
I'd probably have to say Danny Hamlin.
Okay, Denny Hamlin.
Okay.
Nice choice.
It's a good pick.
I just don't want Kyle Busch to win.
And
think we
when
all
we
don't.
say Kyle Busch, what do we say?
FKB.
FKB,
Yep.
baby. That's it. That's all there is to it. 30 minutes till green, just so you know. That's
Less
the
than
command.
30.
That's not even the green. That's the command to start engines. So we are with you minimally 35 more minutes right here on the live YouTube gimmick. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
Obviously, you meet Corey. You guys get together. It's love at first sight or love somewhere. Did he roofie you? I don't know. I don't want to know. But you get into the racing deal. Now you are a full-blown Martin Truex Jr. fan. Why?
I honestly like the color orange, and I did like the number 78, and then when he changed it to 19, I was like, hey, my birthday in February.
My
so,
lucky
you know,
number,
yeah.
strangely
Yeah.
enough.
Well, what are the odds on that one?
Slim to none, and Slim, I think, just walked out the door
Right.
about 10 minutes ago and took all the beer.
Oh no, that's not cool.
No, it's not.
And right
not at
now
all.
they are introducing the Championship 4 drivers.
Yes, they are.
And the first one to come up is none other than Kyle Busch himself.
And when we mention Kyle Busch, we say
Boo!
FKB.
This is the part where somebody has. This is the part where somebody has to throw a banana peel at him.
I wish somebody would throw something.
Somebody
at him.
throw a beer can.
They need to change the color of his suit because he really does look like a banana.
I don't know. I'm trying to keep it clean. Trying to keep it
Should have
clean.
played the peanut butter jelly song.
He just looks like a giant phallic symbol, if you ask me, and that's
Get
where
a peanut
I'm
butter
going
jelly
to
with a
leave it.
baseball bat.
Oh my God, baseball bat, I would take it. So there's one more person I want to talk to in just a couple minutes, but right now, Chelsea, as we're sitting here and you've been now twice doing this with us, what do you think of all this? I mean, I know you probably think it's weird for Corey to have to take an hour, 2 hours every Wednesday, sometimes Thursday night out to talk about a bunch of rednecks chasing each other around the track. I know the Eternal Flame and the Goddess of Love upstairs, who you got to meet earlier, thinks the same thing. At the end of the day, what do you think about all this?
I actually think it's pretty awesome to watch you guys every Wednesday, or I try to anyway, because sometimes I work or.
Right, and I know you share it out with everybody, so thank you very much. And now they're about to introduce Kevin Harvick.
They just
They just
introduced
introduced
Truex.
Martin Truex Jr.
Yep.
while Chelsea was doing her thing. He's
And that's
out
why
there.
I did this.
Yep, he was up there with the
Oh,
horns
that's
and doing
why.
his thing.
Okay. I was wondering what he was doing.
No, he was reacting to Martin Truex, and
And
now
here he
Kevin
comes.
Harvick is walking out.
The closer.
Wow. There's just something about, look, and I'm going to say this to you, Chelsea, because, again, Martin Truex fan and whatever. 3 Gibbs guys versus Kevin Harvick. Is that motivation or is that a detriment to Kevin Harvick?
I think that's motivation.
I'll agree.
Yeah.
I
I
think
will
Corey
too.
said the same thing on Thursday night, is that this is the opportunity for Kevin Harvick to say, look, I have 3 Gibbs guys. They could run a train throughout this entire race. It's my job to beat them, and he's going to do it.
Exactly.
Whereas the Gibbs guys just think, all we have to do is keep Harvick back here. I don't know how they set the points if they get qualifying in, but the top 4 are running 1, 2, 3, 4 to start the race.
And, of course, here comes Hamlin.
And and that's a guy who, no matter what, if he were to win today and win the championship, I have zero issue. Denny Hamlin's one of those scrappers. He's a guy that's always competitive. He's not dirty.
Yeah.
He's not one of those guys. Nobody says I hate Denny Hamlin. That's what I have to say.
Right.
Nobody ever goes, oh, Denny Hamlin, well, I hate that guy.
I probably hated him like when he took out Chase Elliott, but then when he got taken out, well, of course, when that fight happened with Logano, I said, yeah, now that's pretty much the point where I don't hate Hamlin anymore. But,
Right.
But I'm going to throw this curveball to you guys. So let's say, like, if Hamlin doesn't win the championship, would you put him in that category with Mark Martin, pretty much best driver that's never won a championship? Because just look at it, he's won the Daytona 500 twice. So
All right,
would you put him in that category?
I would say not yet, but let's wait and see. You're on the C&J Speedway Review. What's your name? Where are you from? Hello?
Do we have the phone up?
Phone's up.
Okay.
You are on the C&J Speedway Review. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Emma, and I'm from Vermont.
Hello, Emma from
Hey,
Vermont. How are
what's
you?
up?
Emma.
What?
What up?
Okay, so who are you picking to win the championship today at Homestead Miami Speedway?
Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah,
Martin Truex Jr.,
Martin
all right.
Truex.
It seems to be the running theme that people think that Truex is going to come out on top today. Emma, how long have you been a Truex fan?
For about a year and a half, maybe.
Liar. I know
Oh.
differently. I have pictures of you with a number 56 Martin Truex Jr. Napa Know-How T-shirt. So I would say, if I were being truthful, I would say that Emma has been a fan of Martin Truex for the better part of 7 years.
Aw.
Would you
So-
agree?
Yes.
Okay. You got a question, Corey? You look
Yeah,
like you
so
got
that was
something on
pretty
you.
much, and that was pretty much when Michael Waltrip had a race team back then. But But no, I think it's going to be interesting. So I really hope Truex wins the championship too. But if he's going to have to win the title, he's going to have to go through Hamlin and Harvick and those guys. So it's going to be a tough one.
Absolutely. Second question: if Truex doesn't win, who do you want to win the championship?
Kevin Harvick.
Oh, that's my girl.
There
Oh,
you go.
by the way, that's my kid. So if you guys don't know out there in YouTube land, this is my kid. I
Yeah.
love you, Emma. Thank you. Real quick. I want to let these folks know that Christmas is a really exciting time, but this Christmas is different. We already talked about it. Emma and I are doing a year of memories. So our first two memories, Emma, you want to tell them the first memory on December 30th in Hartford, Connecticut?
We're going to see the WWE.
That's
nice.
right.
That's going to be fun.
And then September 5th in Hartford, Connecticut. What are we doing?
Are we going back to Kiss concert?
Yes, we are. We're going back to
Nice.
see Kiss.
Nice.
You wanted the best. You got the best. And that's
course.
all I've got to say about that. Hey, real quick, where are you right now?
At home.
You're at home? Oh, you're not at Grammys?
No.
Because if you're at Grammys, I'd ask you to tell her that Jimmy Johnson's a bum.
No.
Why not?
Because yesterday was Graham's birthday, and we got to be nice to her for at least a week.
A week? I was nice to her yesterday.
All right. Michael Jordan.
All right, real quick, who are you in the room with?
Nobody.
Nobody? Okay, I was going to ask, wow, Michael Jordan's at the race. Look at that. Hey, Em, I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll make sure. Thank you for calling in, by the way. And you know what? Share this with all your friends. Tell them they should be calling in, too. Phone line is open, and
Yeah.
You're my favorite kid ever.
Okay.
All right, baby. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye, Emma.
Bye, Emma.
Bye. Bye.
All right, so my kid calls in with her championship pick. That's pretty freaking cool.
That is awesome. Yeah.
I got one last person that I want to come over
boy.
and talk. And somebody needs to drag him out of his chair. You are coming over right now. We are live and in charge. We are giving you the microphone. We are giving you the headphones. We are giving you your moment in the sun. For 5 years, I'm telling you guys right now, for 5 years,
on,
I've
don't
had
be
to
shy.
listen to Jimmy Johnson.
Don't be shy.
Last year, he chose a new favorite driver. He won the championship. This year, not so much. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite human beings on earth, sexual chocolate himself, it is Skip Perry.
What up, Skip?
How are you?
All you got to do
All
is
right.
talk right into the microphone, my brother. And listen, sorry about Joey Logano. I really did want Joey Logano to be in the championship for
Yeah.
this weekend.
I felt a little hatred
From who? From me?
from Jimmy Logano. I hate you. You hated my guy.
No, I hated Jimmy Johnson. I never
make you
hated on Joey Logano.
Everybody in the world, I want you to hear my song.
Oh, here it comes. He's going to sing the song. I'm going to back up right now.
I love NASCAR. It makes me happy. I wish everyone loved Jimmy Johnson as well as I do. But
But
if I can't have him,
When you going on tour?
But you gave up on Jimmy Johnson and you chose Joey Logano.
He
And
young.
last year he
I
won the
got-
champion. We were here. We had the video.
We gotta
Oh,
go
I
young.
remember that.
We gotta go young. The
Yeah.
young
Yep.
guys, the young bucks.
Well, Jimmy Johnson's about 178 years old. I get it.
Well, he's got
Hasn't
a
won a
job.
race in 2
He's
years.
got a future job for Fox, in the analyst booth. He'll be
Yeah, he could be with Jeff Gordon sometime soon. Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on that. I can make so many rumors, but I won't. 20 minutes till the command to start engines.
We're getting
And
there.
As we have Skip here, Skip, when you first started getting into NASCAR, 5-6 years ago, when we all started doing this every single weekend, you were skeptical. Now you've been watching 6 years. You chose Jimmy Johnson. Now you've got Joey Logano. What do you think of NASCAR overall?
It's an up-and-coming sport. The African Americans are starting to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you got Jay-Z there.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, here we go. You're not gonna go Colin Kaepernick on us, are you?
No.
NASCAR is growing,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's
Yep.
getting into it. They know how to please the audience. They know how to advertise, and I'm looking forward to the future.
And again, we'll go back to Joey Logano, who is, I guess,
man.
your favorite guy
My
now,
man now.
because Jimmy Johnson hasn't been giving you love for the last 2.5 years.
All right.
Oh, I got to pass the torch.
Sometimes
you got to pass
champion
it on.
last year doesn't make the champion for this year. Chances go 50-50, high or low. Joey Logano making the championship 4 next year? High or low? High?
Yeah,
He got a
I
little, he got a
agree.
little gangster in him.
Yeah.
You know, once that fight came out, he got a little gangster in him.
Yeah. Oh,
So he
we
got
saw it.
He got an attitude, and I'm looking forward to that.
He's one of those few guys that didn't back off.
No, and he won't. He will not.
All right.
And I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Who's your championship pick for today? Hamlin, Truex, Harvick, Busch.
I hate to say it. Harvick's gonna win.
All right. Why do you
Okay.
hate? Whoa, hello.
It's gonna win.
All right.
And because I don't like Truex. I don't know what they put in
Oh.
their car.
Wow.
Truex's car is always in the first. They're putting some kind of funky fuel in that car.
What kind of funky fuel?
I can't get it, but Jimmy can't catch it.
Hey, at least it wasn't the jet fuel that Michael Waltrip got caught with
There you go.
years ago. So that was that was an untesty moment back then.
Yeah, right.
And that was pretty much at the time when Waltrip started his own race team, and then all of a sudden, he gets caught with the illegal fuel and all that.
And all of a
so.
sudden, he's an analyst on Fox.
Well, for the truck series, I mean, at
Yeah,
least
right.
at least he's better than Vince Welch because Vince Welch has to be probably the most overrated announcer there is for the truck
Yeah.
series. I mean, if they would have brought in Adam Alexander, I would have been fine with it. But Vince Welch, oh my goodness, it's like literally hearing like a scratch on a chalkboard.
I'm sorry to have pulled away from the microphone, but I'm waiting to see if this is a first down. Real quick football update: Falcons 20, Panthers nothing. It seems like the season might be turning around.
Yeah.
Zach is raising his hand. Everybody's smiling. If Nick knew anything about NASCAR, I'd bring him on.
Yep.
We're having a great time here at the Azarja Mini Mansion right here in Montville, Uncasville, whateverville, Connecticut. And we're having a good time. They're
Where are
measuring
we?
out the first down. Yeah, exactly. Where exactly are we? And
Where am I?
by a point, that's a first down. Thank you, Falcons. My men. All right.
Yep.
In your opinion, of these championship 4, who doesn't make it next year? Hamlin, Truex, Harvick, Busch. Busch?
Busch is
Really? You think?
Yeah.
And when we say Kyle Busch, what do we say?
FKB.
There you go.
FKB. There you go. That's all
I
right.
can-
You just
I
gotta
can hear you loud
gotta
and
be
clear,
loud
yeah.
and proud. In your opinion, is Kyle Busch on the downswing, even though he's in his mid-30s? Whereas you look at a guy like Martin Truex, late 30s, Kevin Harvick, 43.
Yeah.
Those guys are still strong. Do you think Kyle Busch is on the downswing?
It's a young man's sport.
Yet there's Kevin Harvick at 43 years old.
It's sad to say.
Matt Crafton is what, 45? and
Yeah,
won
he's
the
like
truck
43.
championship.
Won the Truck Series championship without even winning a race all season, and I think that's the second time a driver has done that.
But like you said, it's a young man's sport.
Yeah.
It is a young man.
A lot of the young talent is coming up pretty quick in the Xfinity and Truck Series, and I just look at all the young talent right now, and I just say to myself, these guys could all make it in the Cup within like the next 3 years.
And let's stop saying guys. There's some
Oh,
women out
well,
there, too.
there-
Yeah,
and we
that is
talk
true.
women
Yep,
out
that
there.
is true. You know,
And
you
the
got
women-
Haley
and the YOLO
Deegan out there.
circuit, that's what I'm
Haley
saying.
Deegan,
Come on
Natalie
now.
Decker. There's so
a
many.
few women out there
Right.
that's their time.
We need more women.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
We can't just pick on Danica. We got to get some others.
Right.
Well, we can pick on Danica because she was a publicity stunt.
Well, she was,
Seriously.
And I will say this: I'm hoping Haley Deegan can get a full-time Truck Series season, probably within either next year or 2 years or so forth. And then also you got Natalie Decker too, which she hasn't been doing that bad, but it's
She-
still a learning season for her.
She's working. She's
Yeah.
working exactly. All right, Skip is cheering a
24,
Cowboys
21
gimmick.
Cowboys.
All right, well, there's
first down.
first down Cowboys 24-21. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, the number is 860-576-0313.
Would love to hear from you.
We've got about 20 plus minutes left to go.
And I
Not
thank
quite
you
sure.
guys. I appreciate
But thank you,
guys.
You're
Skip.
welcome. Thank
Much
you, Skip.
Good
appreciated.
to see all you guys.
All right.
Keep up the good work.
Oh,
Thank
by the
you.
way, we just got a text message from my daughter. It says, Skip loves NASCAR. It makes him happy. and she remembers the
Yep.
song. And
My number one fan.
you want to sing the song one more time for the people out there?
I got to let it go.
All right.
Okay.
He's going to wait
All
till
right.
the end of the race. Thank you,
See you
Skip.
guys.
All
Much
righty. Thank you.
appreciated. Sexual chocolate, Skip Perry.
Sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate.
Uh-oh. Sexual chocolate.
All right. So, with about 20 minutes to go, we can end this early. It doesn't seem like there's folks wanting to call. I have a feeling we're going to get more calls after the fact.
Yeah.
After the race
Probably
is
after
over.
the race, we'll get a lot
Yes.
of calls. Yeah.
So, real quick, in your mind's eye, you've already picked Truex as your champion.
Yep.
I picked Harvick as my champion. the consensus seems to be Truex or Harvick. I think Skip said Hamlin is a possibility. Nobody wants to pick Kyle Busch, and I understand that. And when we say Kyle Busch, what do we say? FKB, exactly. You guys are fans of the show. I appreciate that. When it's all said and done, of those three, are you upset if Hamlin, Truex, Harvick walks home with the Cup?
No. I mean, I will say this. I mean, I think, you know, if Hamlin wins the championship, I think he deserves it, you know, because, again, you know, this has probably been the best season for him. Of course, he won the
wins.
Six wins, and of course, he won the Daytona 500 in February. I mean, Harvick, you know, it wouldn't surprise me either. So that would be one that I wouldn't be surprised with too. But I don't know. I mean, I think this is going to be anybody's race today, and you know, like I said, it's going to come down, you know, to pit strategy, track position, you know, like we saw in the Xfinity and in the truck race on Friday night and Saturday. So it should be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait. And let's see, Chris is back in. Well, Chris just left the room just about a couple minutes. But anyways, folks, so I would have to say, you know, if Truex doesn't win the championship, I definitely love to see Hamlin win it. You know, I think this is probably a deserving season. You know, that Hamlin could win the championship this afternoon, and I really think this will be fun. But anyways, so. But other than that, you know, with a lot in the room, you know, we got, let's see, we got football in the room. We got a lot of stuff that's going on here. So, in which, by the way, Zach interrupted me during silent reading time. Sorry, Zach. Which obviously, of course, you know, Zach has been trash talking my college football team in recent weeks. And yeah, I mean, I will say that, you know, we are fifth right now, which, of course, Alabama is my favorite team of all time. And yeah, Zach has given me a lot of spirits right now, saying that Alabama is the best team. So, yeah, Zach, you told me that Alabama is the best team, so I appreciate it. But anyways, so and also I keep telling him, you know, since he's a half LSU and Ohio State fan, I just tell him, like, you know, listen, and also you can just agree with me on this. You know, don't get too excited when it comes down to the conference championship games, because after the conference title games, you know, then that's when, you know, the voting pretty much starts on who's going to make it to the top four. But, you know, we'll just have to see what happens after December. And meanwhile, here comes Chris, finally back in the studio chair.
I had to visit a man about a horse, so I apologize.
A horse?
A horse. You never quite know when you have talked to a man about a horse. I was thinking about this while I was out. Again, the four competitors, Truex, Busch, Harvick, Hamlin. I'm okay with any of them being champion. We have three former champions. Harvick 2014, Busch 2015, Truex 2017.
Yes.
You have Hamlin, who is the guy that's always creeping. He seems to be like right there. He's basically the modern day Ryan Newman, even though Newman's still on the circuit.
Right.
He's always right there. Any one of these four guys is a viable contender. There's not one that I look at and say he doesn't deserve to be champion.
Right.
All of these four deserve, if they win the Cup, deserve to be the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Yes.
In my opinion, this is the best championship four I've seen since the inception in 2014.
I will agree. You know, I hope it turns out to be a good race. And, you know, like I said, you know, you're going to probably see some interesting strategies probably come like late during the race. I mean, you know, with the first and second stages, you know, it's going to be a little bit too early to do that. But, you know, when it comes down to like 50 laps to go, or when we get that late caution, then, you know, some crew chiefs are going to make some aggressive strategies, you know, to either keep their driver out or probably just come in for tires. But I don't know. We'll just see what happens. But I think what would be awesome if Logano takes out Kyle Busch and then all of a sudden starts a big fight after the race. I mean, I would definitely like love to see that. So it should be fun.
It seems like everybody's on their feet for some reason. We're
Pre-race
watching
ceremonies.
It's pre-race ceremonies?
Yeah.
Okay. Usually, I stand up. I do the thing.
Yeah, I usually stand up too.
You know, I'm going to have to go sideways on this one. I'm going to have to stay here with you guys as much as it breaks my heart. But we got like Kids Choir Jones up there.
Right.
And, here comes Mark. He's turning it up. I got to stand We'll take turns. You stand, and then I'll stand.
Okay.
Go ahead. At least minimally the hat comes off. Sorry, guys. I'm standing. I got to do it. Sorry, guys. As they finish up, we're going to wait to see further ceremonies here as we wait for the green flag. So, folks, stay with us. Here comes the invocation. I'm going to stand up one more time. So, here we go.
Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity that allows us to be here tonight. And Lord, we ask now that you would be with our drivers and their families, protect them and keep them safe. We also ask that you would be with our military and their families, protect them and keep them safe as they defend our freedom. And we thank you and ask that you would bless this great nation. We thank you for this. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And now. Okay, standing up one more time. Here comes our nation's colors and the national anthem. Just so you know, everybody in this room is standing for each of this. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here comes the national anthem. Candy Carpenter.
Diamonds on there.
You guys were all thinking the same.
I was.
At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang out, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
If you were not here to witness everybody in the room standing up and respecting
America.
our nation and its colors, you missed out on something special. We're getting ready. They're going to strap in. They're going to go with the command soon enough, and then we are going to go dark. When this race is over and after you see the champion raise that trophy above his head, we will be back for 1 hour of post-race analysis. And we're going to have some fun. I'm going to try to get a couple people to call in. I'm going to reach out to some of our racing buddies. And,
Definitely.
we're going to have some fun. Corey, another great. You can feel it. The hair on the back of my neck is standing straight up right now. This is it. This is the Super Bowl of racing. No matter what you hear on, when Daytona comes around, this is it. This is the Super Bowl. This is when we gain a championship.
Oh, I do agree too, and Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun race. I cannot wait, and it's going to be interesting who gets crowned champion.
Absolutely. I want to wish all 4 drivers and their fans all the luck in the world. May the best driver win.
That's right.
And when we come down to the end, one driver will hoist that trophy above their head and declare themselves the 2019 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series champion. In the other room, there's a whole bunch of food. On all these TVs, there's a whole bunch of racing, football, etc., so forth. The Falcons are winning. The Cowboys are winning. If I look over here, the Vikings are having their problems. America's team is not the Cowboys. Stop, 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 and stop. I see the Saints are winning accidentally.
Yeah.
We're going to have some fun. Guys, we'll see you when this race is over. We're going to look over to associate producer Chelsea Taziki Sauce and say thank you. Corey, any last words before we go?
So, a little bit of football news. It doesn't have to involve with the Cowboys, but I guess I guess Rob Gronkowski is making a big announcement on Tuesday morning on his Instagram post. So whether if he's going to come back or whether if he's going to retire, we'll just have to see. But I don't know. I mean, it should be interesting. But
I thought he already retired.
No, I think it's pretty much you have to wait about a year or something to be like fully retired. So he's not like fully retired like yet.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
guys, we'll see you at. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then as long as Zach doesn't interrupt me during silent reading time, we should be okay.
Guys, we'll see you at the end
You
of the race.
interrupted me during silent reading time, bro.
We're getting ready for the drop of the green flag, the command to start engines. This start of the Ford EcoBoost 400. The championship is upon us. We will see you after the race. Associate producer Chelsea, take us home.
You're
learning.
Wait, I was going to say, hasta luego, amigos. Yeah, see, I'm learning a little bit of Spanish, so I'm good.